Hi guys, how do you stay motivated all the time or most of the time? Because motivation is fickle, it comes and goes. And when you need it the most, it completely disappears. Gym jana hai? I'm not feeling motivated yaar. Naya project shuru karna hai? I'm really not feeling motivated yaar. So today I'm going to give you a few practical tips on how to find this elusive motivation. Well, first of all, stop depending upon motivation so much and depend upon a great routine. So, for example, if you have to go to the gym or you have to work out, instead of depending upon motivation, make it a part of your routine or a part of your habit to go to the gym at a particular time on so many days. Over a period of time, you will become a slave to the routine and you will develop good habits. It will become a habit and you won't have to depend upon motivation so much. So that's a great thing to do. Just develop a routine, which you have to stick to so that you don't have to think twice. करना है कि नहीं करना है, जाना है कि नहीं जाना है. If you have to learn something new, make it a part of your routine that every 3 or 4 months you will take up a new course, and hence your dependency on motivation will go down, and you will completely depend upon your great habits or a good routine. Tip number 2 would be to break all your larger goals, really big goals, into smaller, more achievable goals. Think about your New Year resolutions. They're so big that most of us can't achieve them and they leave us very, very demotivated. It's the same thing with really large goals. You don't even know where to begin from. मालूम भी नहीं होता शुरू कहाँ से करें. And that is what leaves us very, very demotivated because you don't know where to start and you're definitely not going to finish those goals either. So break them down into small, achievable goals. For example, you want to lose 10 kgs of weight. Instead of thinking of, oh my god, I have to lose 10 kgs of weight, break it down into smaller goals. So perhaps you can tell yourself that this week I will start having lesser dinner and I will go for a 25-minute walk. Now that's achievable. The minute you achieve that, you will feel motivated and you will want to do a next step, take the next step, right? And that's where motivation comes from. When you break down your large, very big, unachievable goals into smaller, shorter, achievable goals. The third thing, I have my notes. The third thing is to not overthink. Sometimes we just, keep thinking about starting something. We keep going over it in our minds. I want to start a blog. I really don't know what I should call it. What are the topics that I should write on? Are people going to like this blog or not? You think so much that by the end of it, you're so demotivated that you don't even want to start. It becomes a dead non-starter discussion in your head, and that leads to a lot of demotivation. So don't overthink, just start. You don't have to wait to be perfect, you just have to start. And that's tip number 3. Tip number 4 is to not wait for validation from other people when you think you've done a good job, right? Because if that validation or that appreciation does not come, then you're going to feel demotivated, right? So just don't wait for validation or appreciation from other people. If you think you've done a great job, tell yourself you've done a good job, right? And the only appreciation and the only approval and the only validation that should matter are the people who are closely connected to you. So your family, your boss, your team, the people who are closely connected to the work that you do or the life that you lead, they're the only people whose validation matters. If you wait for validation and appreciation from other people, you will always be demotivated because a lot of times that validation may not come. So don't wait for that validation. It will leave you demotivated. The next thing you should do is to celebrate every little win. And I say this from my own experience. When I started out as an entrepreneur, I was working on my own initially. And it can get really demotivating because you don't know where you're headed. Sometimes even the smallest thing scares you. Sometimes there's a couple of months where you don't make any revenue and you really feel so demotivated. So I started celebrating every small win. If I cracked even a meeting with a client that I wanted to crack, एक वो meeting भी मुझे मिला ना, I would celebrate it. And that gave me motivation to, go forward and to continue doing what I did, right? So every single small win that you have, celebrate it, reward yourself for it, because that will give you the motivation to keep going forward, to keep doing what you're doing, right? So celebrate every win. Now, if you do all of this, and even then you find it difficult to find motivation sometimes, it's okay, right? I would suggest that you take a breather, take a step back, evaluate what you're doing, and give yourself a finite time to feel demotivated. But you need to step out of it. Now, how do you do that? By giving yourself a little goal or giving yourself a little task. So I'm going to come back to my favorite example of not being able to work out, not being able to go to the gym. I miss the gym. But if you're not feeling like that, give yourself a little task or goal. Say, okay, today I'm just not finding the motivation. I'm not going to go. But tomorrow I have to go and finish that handstand practice that I'm doing, or I'm going to do 100 crunches. That's my goal for tomorrow. Give yourself a little task or a little competition or a little challenge to pull yourself out of that demotivated state that you're feeling, that you're wallowing in, and it will help. Right? So it's okay to feel a little demotivated sometimes, but remember to give yourself a little challenge so that you're able to pull yourself out. It shouldn't be an ongoing situation, it should be a finite situation. That's how you find this elusive motivation. This is Dipika saying, until next time, stay tuned, stay happy, and stay focused. And this is She Means Business. Bye bye.